usher, you know.
So tell me more about the event tonight. Tonight the show is going to be by Rupa and the April Fishes. So tell me more about the event. What's the agenda?
The agenda is to involve the community. You know, Maitri has a grassroots soul. And whatever, you know, however much we work away at an office and with volunteers, at the end of the day, we believe that an anti-violence movement has to be a community movement, right? Everyone has to be involved. And so our idea is actually to bring really fun events, really fabulous events to the community where you can buy a ticket for as cheap as $25, come in, see a fantastic artist, you know, and support Maitri and learn about Maitri in the process. So we have, I mean, in this time of economic difficulty, you know, we're almost sold out this morning. It's amazing, you know. And Rupa especially is a phenomenal artist because she is a second gener. She's someone who's born and raised outside of India.
Like me.
Like you, And Rupa is a second gener at Maitri as well because her mother Radhesh is a supporter of Maitri. She's donated us money in the past. She's been an active audience member through our events and so on. And so we're really excited to be bringing this sort of spanning generations kind of an event this evening. Rupa sings in languages that are not exclusively Indian. She sings in Spanish and French, Romani, and her music is gypsy, jazz. I'm sure you'll hear it this evening and you'll also get to talk to her. But her idea around music is something that really resonates with us. It's about the universal language of music, and it's about shattering geographic boundaries and barriers that are, you know, culturally sort of put into place, just shattering them, just making everyone come under a common roof with a common agenda for the benefit of humanity.
Empowering women, mainly, right, down to it, empowering women so that they can step out of this domestic violence situation.
If they, but it's also, it puts the onus on us as a community. You know, we have to create a climate outside the home which allows women to not be afraid to step out. You know, what does it say about us as a community when we say you should leave, but then when they leave there's a second stigma attached, right? And we also want to work at Maitri towards a situation where we're not just doing intervention, you know, but we're doing prevention. That this shouldn't happen in the first place, you know, rather than putting a band-aid on a wound.
So basically starting at the roots, where the root of the problem is. No, that's wonderful. It's a wonderful idea, and it's wonderful for the community as a whole, especially for so many women who are out there who have been facing this problem. So tell me about the website.
We have a lovely website. It isn't always completely updated because you know, sometimes volunteer manpower isn't available. But the website is www.maitri.org. We also have a toll-free phone line, a hotline, which is 1-888-8-MAITRI, M-A-I-T-R-I. And we have,
and if you're a volunteer and you want to get in touch with Maitri, how would they contact you? Is there an email address as well?
Yeah, there's an email address. It's just, you know, maitri@maitri.org is how you can write to us. There's a little button on our website which says, you know, if you want to be a volunteer, click here. And then there is a questionnaire that people have to fill out and send to us. And then we take the process on from there.
Thank you so much, Mukta, for being on our show.
Pleasure.
And you're watching DESIUSA TV. Welcome back to DESIUSA TV. We are here now with SARA, who is a program director from Maitri. SARA, thank you so much for coming again on our show. So please tell me, let me have an idea about what your daily schedule would be like working at Maitri.
Thank you for having me. So my daily schedule is not a typical day, 9 to 5. It could be anything from maybe answering the hotline, which we run live 9 to 1, to maybe attending a grant meeting or going to an outreach event like a mela or something, or maybe going to a meeting with other like-minded community members, or dealing with walk-in if there is a crisis. And walking you through the hotline would mean talking to someone who would call in and say, what kind of services do you offer? So then and can you help me, and can you give me some advice?
So what kind of services do you offer, or and do you give advice, or do you just you know, inform them about?
Yes, so that's a great question. We do not give advice. That is not our job. We would walk people through different options that we offer. So Maitri follows a women-centered advocacy where we would advocate for you, and we would walk you through many different options you have, whether they are legal or whether they would mean walking the whole social services. So it depends on what it is that you want, whether you want counseling, whether you just want a sounding board, whether you want someone's shoulders to lean on while you walk through a difficult path in your life at that time, depending on what it is that you want. And sometimes women get very upset and angry at us for not telling them what it is that needs to be done, but we can never do that. We keep coming back to so
why won't you give advice?
Because it's not our job to do that. It's like that would not make us any different from the abuser. She's always been told what needs to be done,
right?
And that's not our job. I can give you your different options, and you get to choose what it is that needs to be done.
So basically, helping women think for themselves.
Yes, and even if it's the wrong choice, it's okay. Even if it is a mistake, it's yours. You learn through it, and you move on, and we are there to support you. And then that is how you will learn, and that is how you'll make a life for yourself and your children if it comes to that. And we'll always be there to support you, and we'll walk with you. And I think that is the important part, because that is how you will empower yourself and your children. And I think that is the more important lesson. We cannot fish for you, we'll teach you how to fish. And I think that is something that people finally appreciate, and that's how they stay with us for long.
So how do you feel working for an organization where you deal with such emotional cases?
It's extremely emotionally draining at times, but at the end of the day, it's walking away with the feeling of helping someone. Very rewarding. I'm very blessed to be working with a lovely group of volunteers. My board is wonderful. My co-workers are very uplifting and energizing. And then the population I serve. I mean, I'm blessed to be working for people I love. So at the end of the day, it's really nice.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that it is.
So tell me something else. What kind of women come in? Which kind of women come seeking help?
So, we hear this all the time. Sometimes even my mother says, oh, it can't be so and so. I'm from India, so I'm from Kashmir, India, and she'll say, it can't be a Kashmiri Muslim girl, can it? And then and then my friends say that someone else, her mom says that it cannot be an Iyengar girl. So let me just put it this way, that domestic violence does not have any class or education or any other background. So from a PhD, from a very high class, very rich family, to a highly uneducated villager woman from some South Indian village, for example. We've seen them all. So I cannot give you, there is no one set person. I can't say that it is such and such person,
And from your own perspective, what do you really believe is the problem with why these women are having to face this? What is it about our culture, about the Indian culture, that manifests domestic violence?
So I don't want to blame everything on our culture. Domestic violence is across. I also think, and it's not just the Indian culture, it's not just the South Asian culture. It happens here. It happens everywhere, and so I think we hide behind our culture all the time, but it even happens in India. It happens everywhere. So, but I think people here, it's just worse here because we lack our family support system, and it is our patriarchal society also. We just talk more openly about it here, if we do at all, in our circles. And that's what it is. So,
well, thank you so much, Sarah, for being on our show.
Well, thank you for having me.
And you're watching DESIUSA TV.